anyway, Rebecca.
Yes.
Your voice carries. Watch it. Watch it. Good afternoon, everyone, and we want to welcome you to this regularly scheduled meeting of the Friendswood Downtown Economic Development Corporation. It is Tuesday, September the 9th at 4 o'clock. We are in council chambers in City Hall. This meeting is officially called to order, and we do have a quorum on the dais. We have Mr. Johnson, Mr. McKenzie, and Mr. Marks, and myself, Rebecca Miller. So we have 4 of the 3, and we are missing our other 3. But we'll make sure they see the video and get the information. Any public communication that would like to be relayed to the board at this time, we would appreciate hearing from you. Ms. Branson, do you have anything to say?
No, but thank you for asking.
Hey, I mean, when we have only one, we can make it personal, right?
My wife went to the ice cream social expecting to see you and did not.
She was there.
That's what I read later, but just
At the farmer's?
yes.
Excuse
Oh,
me?
I haven't heard mine on too.
I would very much like to appreciate many of the people on this board right here for showing up for our ice cream social that got postponed to the farmer's
Yes,
market.
exactly.
Which was really great. She was there, I missed her.
I asked her, I said, "Did you see Sally Hanson Branson?" She said, "No."
Well, it was a great success, and thanks to the city because Bluebell allowed us to keep the freezer for a whole week.
Awesome.
And City Parks and Rec moved that little puppy back and forth to the park, back to the French Church, and back to French Church again. So we were very grateful. So anyway, well,
Awesome.
tell Marty I'm sorry I missed her.
I will.
All right. With that, we will close public communication. Thank you, Ms. Branson. We are now moving to the election of officers. And,
Dr. H.
oh,
Yeah.
sorry, I missed the minutes. Thank you. I appreciate everybody calling my attention to them. We are to consider the approval of the minutes of the Friendswood Downtown Economic Development Corporation meeting, which was held on August the 12th. Any comments, corrections, questions about the minutes? Hearing none, what is the wish of the board?
I make a motion we accept the minutes from the last meeting. Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second to approve the minutes as presented. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None opposed. The vote is 4-0. Thank you, gentlemen. Now let's go to the election of officers. This is the month that we regularly do this, but this is not to say that because we have 3 members absent that we may not want to postpone. But this is, I'm just throwing information out there, but we can go ahead and do it. We have a quorum.
Or we could elect everyone that's not present.
Oh, now there's
Already made that suggestion. Did you?
there's an idea, Bubba. There's an
That's why I'm
idea.
here.
That's why. Saw it on the agenda.
That's happened before. Stephen, is there anything that you want to say in regards to this? I'm just kind of talking right now.
No, ma'am. Just that as you stated previously, that this is the yearly election of officers. The current officers are listed here. They all just happen to be here today. Just a reminder: there is no requirement for consecutive terms or limitations on consecutive terms, or who can be elected.
There's
So
no term limits.
that's correct. So you can, if you choose to keep the same makeup as it is now, that's perfectly acceptable. If you choose to change it all out, that's perfectly acceptable as well.
For the sake of the group, I would really like to just kind of table this. I'm Karen. I may not be using the right word, or just not take action on it.
If you want to make a motion to postpone until the next regular meeting, that'd be great.
Okay, thank you. What do y'all think?
I'm good. Yeah, that's good.
Is that good to just wait?
Sounds good.
All right. So can I have a motion to delay this until the next monthly meeting?
I make a motion we delay the election of officers to the next monthly meeting.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, thank
Would it-
you.
Would it be okay with the board if I go ahead and text Trey and tell him he's the president?
Well, I already did. I asked him, do you want to be president? I didn't say he already was, so I said, do you want to? Moving on, and thank you, Karen. Karen for the advising on that. To consider adopting the proposed yearly 2026 Friendswood Downtown Economic Development Corporation budget. We've had a chance to look at this budget. It was sent to us. This is just to adopt what we anticipate coming in and where we see some expenditures. Stephen, would you like to elaborate on that?
Yes, ma'am, and you're absolutely correct. You will notice, one, the large, very fantastic number of the projection of sales tax and interest of being over $1 million coming in over the next fiscal year. You will notice that it does look semi-bare bones because the board does not currently have any anticipated projects set out for the next fiscal year. So anything that is coming up, with the signs and the wayfinding, that's already a part of fiscal year 2025 or 25, 26. So 26, 27 does not have anything outlined just yet. The ending fund balance for this time next year is $3,930,082, subject, of course, to any expenditures or anything that come up along the way.
Are there any questions about this budget? We never thought we would be talking these numbers, but I'm very thankful. Any comments? This is an action item, so we need to approve it if this is agreeable to all board members.
I would make a motion, we approve the 2024, 2025, or I guess 2025, 2026 budget.
We have a motion and a second to approve this proposed budget as presented. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you. It passes 4-0. This next item is an opportunity for us to look what we can do for the downtown district in regards to safety. It was one of the things that we had on our long list of items, and Stephen and I discussed the opportunity to maybe learn more from the authorities that be. So Stephen, will you take it from there, how we got here?
Absolutely. With us today are Chief Rogers and Deputy Chief Reyna. We, like you mentioned, we have discussed some projects potentially coming up for the downtown district and what those would look like. As part of the public safety and the expenditures that only take place in downtown, it is kind of limited on exactly what you can and can't do. Some of the items that we discussed potentially were flock cameras or intersection cameras, and of course, going to the experts and the authorities is probably the best way to do this. And so they have a presentation. There's nothing that's going to be voted on today here. It's more or less just informational. It's a workshop, so you can ask questions, and there can be back and forth conversations. If there is any thought to moving forward, we can come back with a more firm proposal and more firm pricing, potentially on and what can be done downtown. Chief, Deputy Chief, I will advance it from here, so you don't have a clicker. Just letting you know.
Gentlemen, thank you for being here.
Yes.
No, thank you all for having us.
Appreciate your time.
Sure. Thank you all for having us. I'll just kind of start with the first couple of slides here, and then I'll let Deputy Chief Reyna come up and talk more really specifically with the, as it relates to flock cameras that we have around the city. So we were one of the first agencies in the area to start with those cameras several years ago. And we're up to about 21 cameras, I believe, that we purchase yearly through the city. And then we have an additional probably 20 with other jurisdictions. Some of the, I would say the HOAs, we have some with the Mud District over on the Heritage Park side, Harris County, on some of our ingress and egress. And we have everything pretty well covered. So, and with that flock camera, he's gonna get a little bit more in depth with it here in a little bit, but all it does is captures plates that are going through there. So, if there's a lost or missing silver alert that comes out for an elderly person, we've located them with the system. It's tied into the state and national database for missing any type of wanted persons, things like that. Or those license plates are capturing 24/7, 365 at those ingress and egresses to the city. So when we talked about some of the area here that you guys are responsible for between Whispering Pines and 2351, that rollout that we did several years ago was really kind of phase one, and then adding more cameras on the interior. So once you made it in, let's say you were a wanted person and you hit on inbound coming in on 528 near Bay Area, you wouldn't hit another camera basically until you left the area again. So a stolen vehicle or something like that. So the phase two of this was to get some cameras on the interior of the city as well. Eric will talk a little bit about the successes of that. I can tell you that, you know, we are doing the absolute best job, and there's no one close to us in first place on our crime rate. We have the lowest crime rate around here. There's a couple probably in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex that are doing what we're doing here, but there's nobody close to us in this area that can, you know, talk about crime rate statistics. And that's really our report card. That's what we measure with. Everything we do it based upon what has the effect on our crime rate here. It's one of the reasons why people come here. So we're constantly leveraging technology to try to keep up with crime rates that are rising everywhere. Ours is continuously going down, and it can't go down much lower. So these cameras are something that we've talked about for a while. Flock is one of them. The other one that we're going to look at doing that we've been trying for several years is intersection cameras. And these would be cameras that would not necessarily just catch license plates, but they would catch vehicle descriptions and things like that throughout. We're pretty far behind behind on that area. You can't go anywhere and not be on video anymore, no matter where it is. You can't knock on anyone's door anymore without being on video. Everyone's got one of those things. So we're really behind times, with some of our interior cameras and some of the video. We're knocking them down good with Flock. We're solving crime that would have zero solvability before these things, but we can do a little bit better with the cameras. So specifically with you guys' area out here, you know the number of parades we have each year. We also know about the number of vehicular attacks in these parade type events that have been going on here recently. FBI warnings, that's going to be the new terror attack. So getting this area locked down with camera footage and things like that, not only preventing, but if something does happen, to be able to come back later on and look at. I mean, it's a hot spot just for the number of parades that we have on a yearly basis out there on that roadway. Some of them come to Stevenson Park, and then of course our Little League parade or Youth Sports Day parade goes out to 2051 into Renwick. So both directions there from the center of town, multiple parades a year. That's not getting any smaller or bigger. So maybe some opportunity also to talk about maybe some bollards or something like that that could be out there, not necessarily just technology with the cameras. But that's what we're looking at doing here, is eventually adding more and more cameras to the city, both Flock cameras and PTZ cameras that are recording 24/7. A couple pictures on here, Stephen will flick through there, that you can look at. We've got that camera to the left is one that's bought. That's self-contained, so there's no fiber or anything that needs to be run to that camera. All it needs is power, and then it operates off of its own cellular connectivity, which is 5G now. So it has a 5G router inside there, and it's streaming back to to a VMS, which we have a pretty sophisticated system right now that we've been using for a couple years, Milestone, and we can put thousands upon thousands of cameras onto that VMS system through that. So we don't need that. Some of the larger cities like Pearland that have fiber run to their intersections and they control their cameras, they're able to tie into their existing fiber. We can't do that since our roadways aren't yet ours. They're still owned by DOT. So our system's a little bit more expensive because it's a standalone there. All it needs is 120 power, and then it's sent back through the cradle point to there. That's one that's bought. They're about $12,000. That's about a $45,000 to a $5,000 camera that's sitting on the in there. It's one PTZ in the center, and then there's 4 sensors that cover the station area at a 360 around there. So the cameras nowadays with the AI technology and stuff is absolutely incredible. And just a little display there of an intersection. Then the next slide Stephen will show. This is one we build in-house ourselves up there. You can see it embedded in there. We build that camera for about $5,000. It's the same thing. It has a fan. We build it in-house. We designed it, built it, with the help of Fort Worth PD that has probably 300 to 400 of those cameras put up at a fraction of the cost of what a standalone system. So we're starting to build those as we speak. That's the first one we just put up there. And it has an LPR camera off to the side you can see, and then a PTZ off to the center. So we've hooked the camera off to the side up to Flock through there, what they call a wing program. So you can put your own video camera through a wing program at about $1,500, $2,000 a year, but you own the equipment as compared to, and it's a much better camera catching 3-lane capability. The Flock is about 2 lanes on their cheaper cameras. That's Axis, just like the center PTZ is an Axis camera that's catching 3-4 lanes at speeds of 100 miles an hour with that camera. So we hooked up that dual, and that's what we're looking at doing there. But the idea would be to permit these through Texas and Mexico doesn't allow us to do anything except for temporary agreements. Centerpoint is just kind of a, hey, you let us know where you hang the cameras, and they allow us to do that. Texas and New Mexico is a little stricter with us, and we've got temporary agreements up to hang them, but we would probably have to go through TxDOT at some of our intersections and get those approved through the right-of-ways if we do that. I'll turn it over to Eric and let him talk specifically about Flock. Appreciate it.
Chief, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Can I do that?
Yes, please, because I had several too. Go ahead.
Okay. The LPCs and the Flock cameras, are they tied into TLETs or anything like that, where you can bounce that license plate off of anybody that's wanted or has
Yes,
a
sir.
warrant?
So the system is set up. We can turn off the different alerts. We turn off sex offenders because there's so many of them. We would be getting alerts all day long.
Oh Lord, I don't hear that.
on the sex offenders. So we can turn off what we want. We leave some of the more serious wanted persons in there. They call it TCIC and NCIC. So we leave those on. We leave the silver alerts, the amber alerts. We leave those on, and then we enter our own, and we share with other agencies what we call a hot list. So if we're looking for someone, we can load a plate into a hot list. So it's not, people think it's logging and running your plates. Yes, it is. We don't care about anything as long as you don't have an alert on there or we're not looking for your plate. But we have caught multiple juggers. We have caught multiple burglars because everyone is using this system now around us. So I won't steal Eric's thunder, but we had a bank robbery the other day that and he'll tell you guys about that we were able to load in there in Houston. He'll tell you the story about HPD getting on the guy pretty quick, but that's what it is. Yes, it's bouncing off of the state system.
Yeah.
Flock has the contract with the state of Texas to be able to do that.
Thank you, Chief.
Stephen, if you can go to the next slide. And one more after that. So, quick overview of the Flock cameras in case you don't have a clear understanding of exactly what they do. So before we had LPRs, this is a situation that's very common here in Friendswood and around the area, right? A car burglar. They come in at night, they try to break into cars. Everyone has a Ring camera, everybody has a security camera. So usually we get a picture of the car like that. Patrol gets called in the morning, does a report. We share that red car with other agencies. Hey, did y'all have any thefts with this car? And usually the case is cold at that point. Now that we have Flock, if you can go to the next slide. With Flock now, that vehicle that was breaking into, actually trying to break, that was my driveway that was pictured there.
Great.
So that was about 2 a.m. and I'm about half an hour down Highway 6. So that vehicle actually was a wanted vehicle that was taken in an armed robbery in Houston earlier in the day. It left my neighborhood, drove about half an hour, and it entered Friendswood about 4 a.m. We had Flock at the time. We got an alert at 4 a.m. about a stolen car coming into town. Patrol got on it. By the time it was passing Friendswood Parkway, they got into a car chase with it, arrested 4 people out of the vehicle. They were throwing guns out of the car, and just like that, the case was solved before they even filed a report. So that's an example of the alerts in the proactive side of Flock. So like you said, any type of wanted stolen vehicle, and then of course if another agency has a wanted vehicle or a vehicle of interest, Pearland may have a car burglar that they know about, so they share this suspect vehicle with us, put it in the system, and then when it comes into Friendswood at 2 o'clock in the morning, we know exactly what they're here doing, and then we'll go out there, we'll respond and attempt to locate the vehicle and start the investigation from there. Stephen, go to the next one. So here's another example of a success story we had. So we had an armed robbery at Bank OZK about maybe late June. We quickly got surveillance video of the suspect, and this is how Flock is used after the fact. So we got no alert on the suspect vehicle because the vehicle wasn't wanted, but we had a picture of the car, and once we have a picture of the car with Flock, we can find that car. So we look at what features the car had. It had chrome door handles, it had a roof rack. We got on Flock, and within minutes, we found a vehicle that matched the one leaving the bank robbery. We confirmed it came into town 5 minutes before the bank robbery, and it left immediately afterwards. So then, as we're out there looking for it, we put it into that shared hot list that Chief Rogers mentioned. And basically, anytime it passes another Flock camera in the Houston area, they get an alert: Friendswood PD, bank robbery, suspect armed with a handgun. So Houston Police Department, one of their plainclothes units was on the west side of Houston. He gets the alert, and lo and behold, he said he looks up and the car's sitting right in front of him. They ended up getting him stopped. They recovered all the money that he had, and we actually arrested him within 1 hour of him committing the armed bank robbery here. So that's how it kind of works after the fact. So it takes time to find the cars, a little longer when we just have them in the ingress and egress, because we're looking at cars coming in and out. Having them throughout the city is going to enable a quicker response time from us to be able to identify that car a lot quicker. Stephen, if you go to the next one. Here are some Flock successes that we had for 2024. Stolen vehicles recovered. There's the value of them. We had an alert one day on Bay Area about a parental abduction that originated out of Illinois, and our officers stopped the vehicle and made an arrest in that case. The robbery we had at the subway, we identified the vehicle based on surveillance video from the scene through Flock. Another one we had, they came into town to our HEB, I believe, and stole a bunch of wine. The detectives working with HEB got video, we identified the car, we put it in the Flock hot list, and then KDPD ends up locating the vehicle, and they were in a van full of wine. They had just stolen more wine, and it totaled over $25,000 in wine. And then, of course, the jugging incidents that we've had are quickly solved because of this technology.
Can you go a little bit in depth more on jugging, how that Flock grabs those guys?
Sure. So,
and can you define jugging?
So jugging is where these individuals, these criminals, they go sit at banks and they'll park right by the front doors. They usually have tinted windows on their car, and they're just watching people go in and out of the bank. And what they're looking for, usually they target elderly. They're looking for someone walking out with the envelope, like they just withdrew money. And then from that point, they follow them. And if the unknowing victim stops and goes inside a business, they break into the car. And in other more serious cases, they'll actually run up to the car and rob them at gunpoint or physically take the money from them. So that's been termed jugging, and that crime has been nonstop. We've encountered a few of those coming into town. So in those cases in particular, usually we get notified pretty quick. Either someone sees someone breaking into a car, or the victim calls us quick enough, and as long as we can get video of that car, what we'll do, and the one that comes to mind on that one, the Jack in the Box one, we got the information so quick that we identified the car, and we were immediately searching for the car. And Webster has a bunch of cameras as well. The Mud 55, which is going towards Heritage Park, has some cameras. So we were able to see the direction the car was going. So our officers continued on, got on Interstate 45 and knew it was going to go north, and just kept on going until they found it at the Beltway, and then actually got him stopped and arrested him before he even got back into Houston. So that's one way that we're able to solve them, is to get on the vehicle right away if we have enough cameras and can identify the vehicle. The other way is, the detectives will get the case, identify the vehicle, and then we'll take it from there, different routes for the investigation, whether we go work with Houston and try to make additional cases on them. But before the cameras were in play, these cases were just dead end. And the crooks try to get smart. They say, oh, we'll take off our plate, or we'll put a bogus paper tag on the plate. Well, the camera's taking a picture of the car, and believe it or not, there's always something about a car that's unique to that car. So we have detectives that'll sit there and they'll try to find that car with a different plate, and they'll look for that dent in that bottom bumper, you know, that was there. And they're very meticulous, and they'll find it, and then we'll start doing our research, and we'll say, okay, that's our car. Because some of the crooks are onto it, but you can't hide from an image, and they have to come in town to commit the crime. So these tools are invaluable to us. Go ahead, Steve. Any other questions about how those alerts work or anything like that?
I have a question that goes to the next step. So if no one has a question to what he just presented, I'd like to ask the next step. Do you have a wish list for downtown of what you would really like to see presented to FDEDC?
Yeah, I think really, in all honesty, a mix of the two. Saw you guys' budget up there. We won't break that at all. You got
Well,
plenty. You got plenty there.
that's why we're
we'll stay
asking.
within that. We'll stay within that easy.
You're not here groveling for it. We're here asking.
Yeah.
How can we use the downtown funds to better help
Realistically,
our
probably
community?
2 to 4 flock cameras, and probably 5 to 6 of the stationary cameras to lock down the downtown area pretty good. And flock is $1,500 install, $3,000 a year ongoing costs per camera, or a little less than that install.
3,600 per install and 3,000 ongoing per year.
Okay, they went up quite a bit on the installs, but TxDOT right away, and they're doing the permitting. Wow, yeah, they have gone up a lot. That's the one-time fee, and then the $3,500 a month per year per camera.
Mr. Hill, Trey Hill is not here, but he used a phrase when we were being presented about the Christmas decorations that we have gotten for the downtown. Give us the gold standard. In other words, his phrase was, shoot for the moon on the Christmas decorations. When you present something for us, and one of my proposals was going to be that you put together a proposal, give it to Mr. Ray, and then have it on our agenda for the October board meeting if possible, and shoot for the moon. You know, let us see what we can really do for the downtown area.
Okay, yeah, we can do that for sure.
Good. Anybody, I mean, do you all agree with that, or?
Yes.
That
Yes.
sounds good.
I mean, we'd like to really do the most we can for downtown.
Yeah.
You will
And-
attract more economic development with a safer area
Correct.
than without, so.
Yeah, and you know, over the years, it's something that's really understood. Now, there's may have been some pushback from some folks on cameras, but really it's gotten to the point now where it's just the opposite.
Mhm.
If something happens out there, they're going to expect that there's some type of cameras, and if not, they're asking why isn't there?
Right.
You know, it's taken us a while in Stevenson Park to get that where it is today. You know, with the amount of crime that's been committed in you know, in the parks there.
I remember the pushback on that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge for a lot of different things. We don't, you know, we kind of got the infrastructure out there now, but you know, like I said, without having the fiber, I mean, the cameras are a little bit more costly. The flock is all standalone as well, so they don't need anything. They're solar powered cameras. That's really an easy go. And four probably on 518 between 2351 and Whispering Pines is plenty, and then the additional cameras to give the surveillance stuff is probably where we need to increase that number at for that. So we'll put together a good presentation for you guys.
Thank you. That's
Thank
what
you.
we would really like. Paul,
Okay.
I know you wanted to come back to the slides, so.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll cover it when they come back with the presentation, but
Okay.
I was just curious with the standalone camera, I'm trying to picture what that would look like. Is that the whole pole, or is that just another pole in the background?
No, sir, that's a pole in the background. It's a light
Okay.
pole.
That's what I was,
Yeah,
Okay.
the only thing, you know, that is somewhat of an issue at times for those cameras that are on the light poles is, you know, those run at night and then they're on timers. So basically what they've installed all along, I think you guys probably are the ones responsible, you know, for those out there, right? They're on a timer system, so they'll go off. And that company there that's on there, what they've done, if you can't hook those directly where that stays powered all day, they do have a battery backup that would run that during the daylight. and then at night it runs it and charges it by the power once that light fixture comes on. But they're connected to, and they can be powder coated at any color to match whatever pole it's going up on. That one probably needed to be black. I don't know, maybe it goes good with the white and black lettering that's on the sign there, but they can change the colors of the enclosures as well to match whatever pole that it's on.
And the camera, in that particular, the camera can move.
Yes,
That
that one's got a PTZ in the center. They call it like a UFO. And then there's multi-sensors all the way around it, probably 4 multi-sensors that are stationary. They're up to 40 times zoom. So just to give you kind of an example, we can put one at Bay Area Boulevard in 528, and we can zoom in with a 40 times zoom and relicense plate at the intersection of Challenger going into West Nassau near Lansdowne Moody.
Wow.
From Bay Area in 528 with a 40 times zoom lens on the center PTZ.
That's good.
So we've had several fatality accidents that we've caught, on them, and help solve what actually happened a lot better when you can see it on video. So
is the PTZ function controlled by someone in dispatch, or is it run off the sensors in some sort of AI deal, or what?
so it's so really to zoom in at that, we would set it for patrol, and probably just have it kind of running around. But yes, and the idea is once all of these cameras get up, and our drone as a first responder is another huge topic that's coming, for us. But what we're going to eventually do is we're going to stand up a real-time crime center to where we'll have a dispatcher and an officer and a pilot inside a room. And so when that 911 call comes in, before the dispatch even enters into the system, the drone's being launched from one of the 4 locations out to the call in about 30 to 50 seconds time before it's even entered in. Dispatch is even able to put it into the computer. And then those officers would be pulling up the cameras around town. Let's say we had something on 518 and then we've got 8 of these cameras logged in. Hey, we just had a robbery at the Kroger's. Car was southbound on 518. Drones going to Kroger's, and the other officer that's in there that's working cameras, to answer your question, would be pulling up the cameras on 528. Hey, he's northbound. He just went through, Clearview. Right. Okay, now he hit the next camera he didn't hit the camera at Castlewood, so he must have turned off on Echo, right? That kind of thing. And that's the idea of that at a later date. But we got to get the cameras up before we can we can start doing that. The drones are going up as we speak. One of the docks is already up at the PD, and we'll be adding 3 more here in the next 6 months. And then we'll start looking at staffing, a real-time crime center on our hotspot areas. This will all tie together.
Wonderful. Good. Because that does nothing but just enhance our community. I mean, it's behind the scenes, and it's wonderful to have the light poles out there, but we don't always have to show everything we do in big letters. But seeing the cameras also does sort of tell criminals, oh, we are being watched.
Yeah. Because, God forbid something at one of the parades, everyone's going to expect, there to be tons of evidence from cameras out there. Yeah. This stuff, with the Boston Marathon bomber, some of these other real heinous crimes that are in much more technologically advanced cities than us, have been able to track every one of those guys' movements, and they're caught within hours because of it. And that's just kind of what's expected now for here. And we have no shortage of folks that show up to these parades. These are getting bigger and bigger each and every year. The Christmas parade is as big as 4th of July now out there. It's a ton of people.
Okay, can we talk? We can't vote on this until we have the presentation in October, hopefully. Then it has to go to City Council for the funds to be released, if City Council approves it. After it's approved by City Council, which we'll say is the beginning of November, what would be the possible timeline to get this going and maybe see to the end? Do you have any idea?
I think there's a good start already with the power that's being run to all the poles there. I don't think that's going to be a problem down 518 at all, is finding a pole for power.
Good.
I would say the longest process would be any permitting with TxDOT to put them up. The cameras themselves are readily available, and the install is relatively simple to do as well. In fact, the ones that we put those up ourselves. We got 2 Highline certified guys in the police department that go out and hang the cameras themselves. Worked out a deal with Public Works where we took their old bucket truck. So we have a PD bucket truck now that we share with, with parks, because parks can't get a hold of Public Works to get their bucket truck. So we only use ours on a basis. So we kind of did a little exchange with Public Works to get their. So we've got everything. We've got everything set up to go. For out there, we're looking at probably TxDOT permitting would be the longest delay.
Okay, so even TxDOT permitting on the freestanding camera system that is shown up here, we'd still need to do that. TxDOT permitting.
I think probably for flock, anything on a FM road.
Right, but
Our standalone cameras, we can see if it's our poles that we own that are
Right.
out there. If there's if we could speed that up.
okay.
But placing a pole in a TxDOT right away would require permitting on FM roads.
I think Stephen is very familiar with that.
Yeah. Our own poles that we own out there probably is probably a little less, regular.
Cumbersome.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
But none of it's a deal breaker. It's
Good.
it's all something that's that plenty of cities deal with constantly, hanging cameras. So we'll get it done.
So it would be realistic to say, you know how I am about timelines, guys, just bear with me. It would be realistic to say that this could be done by July 4th.
Yeah, if we're given the go ahead, you're saying
In November.
November. Ours, I would say for sure.
Okay,
I
good.
can't make a
That's-
promise on flock. I don't know
I
how backed
understand.
up
I mean, I understand, but the ones that,
what the timeline is on TxDOT.
Oh, that'd be good.
I think that would be good if you can.
And I would just add to that while they're working with Flock, we can visit with our engineering department and the folks that constantly deal with TxDOT, and to see what exactly the needs would be from PD on locations, and if we potentially have any existing poles that we could use, so we wouldn't have to add something. And specifically, it was already owned by the city downtown or TNMP, where we could use one of their poles. By October, we should be able to put something together more specific, along with timelines as well, and bring it back for everybody to consider.
Excellent. Excellent.
Thank you, guys.
Any other comments, questions?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Those could probably be installed on existing pole.
Good.
A lot of them.
I guess Eric came to our Rotary Club and talked about. It was right. It was right after that. I mean, that blew my mind, though. It's amazing the technology and how it's awesome.
It's wonderful, really. It just makes us all safe.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it greatly. Any other comments or questions about this item? You also mentioned bollards. Someone did. So, Stephen?
And we don't have to, because we don't have like real specifics here today, but one thing that Chief and I did speak to at one point was some type of hard barrier, potentially. If you have gone to any of the parades, you've noticed that the barricades are just the flimsy sawhorses, mostly just for looks and to keep folks off of the roadway as the parade takes place. As was seen in New Orleans potentially, and others, where you do have these instances where folks in the bad state of mind use a vehicle as a weapon. There are many access points to FM 518 that would have to be considered, so not just the roadways, excuse me, but also potentially the driveways for some of these businesses. I think it's going to take a longer thought out process to see what exactly, and it's probably going to be a multifaceted approach, given the amount of access that's provided to FM 518, just due to the day-to-day businesses that take place. But we'll, when and if we put something together, we'll definitely bring it back.
Perfect. Thank you. I just wanted you to hear that we did hear you when you mentioned that, and that's a very important point. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, gentlemen, we appreciate you being here greatly, and I know you have other places to be. Your time is valuable, so thank you. We appreciate it. And we'll look forward to see what you bring us in October. And to use Mr. Hill's words one more time, shoot for the moon.
All right,
Yes.
we'll do that.
Thank you. Okay. Moving down, unless there's anything else that you want to talk about on the regards to the public safety. That item was pretty well delineated, and Karen, I'm trying to follow the rules.
I can tell you in regards to bollards, we have several at NASA.
Mm-hmm.
There is maintenance involved, a lot of maintenance, and they have a limited lifetime, especially here so close to the water.
Makes a good
Water getting in with hydraulics and electronics is not good.
Well, one of the things in my visit with Stephen in prepping for this meeting, he described something to me that I wasn't familiar with about, when I think of bollard, I think of a baller,
Oh, yeah.
But Stephen, would you describe what also is another possible option?
Sure. In some communities, and also FISD currently has these installed over on the new around the new pack. Is they're basically, you have a sleeve that's installed into the ground with a lockbox on it, and when you're ready to use, you would pull the bollard out from the storage somewhere, and it has a long kind of a metal rod on it that you would then secure into the ground, and lock. It may not be as sturdy as something potentially as a larger concrete block or something to that effect, but it would have some effect. But that you'd also have to take into account the roadways, what's under the roadways potentially. So there's a lot of other factors that would go into those, and it was just another option that we thought we could look at.
I appreciate you bringing that up, though, greatly.
Yeah.
Because you've experienced it,
I have.
and that's
I've also experiencing them being deployed with a car on top of them. Not good.
we won't ask for more. No, I can't see the vision being good. All right, thank you, everyone, for your comments, and being willing to openly look at this other phase of the downtown plan
Right.
for safety. So, all right, moving on. Stephen has had this up for a few minutes to receive the illumination project report.
Yes, ma'am. So just today, this morning, ending at probably about 10 or 10:30, Pfeiffer & Sons in our engineering department did their substantial completion walkthrough, and everything. There's a punch list. It's minor. There were a couple of outlets that had a couple of concerns and a couple of boxes and screw heads that were missing here and there that they're going to take care of. All the lights that are installed are operational. They've supplied us as-built that we're going through should we choose to add to the project in the future. These are highly important. We still do have the 6 locations without the easement agreements, and I failed to visit with Paul regarding one location here, which I think that we can get taken care of. If anybody has, and Aubrey did actually find the Comerica Bank came in on something totally
Really?
different to request a permit, and so we are trying to hunt down the ownership through the bank wanting
request.
through the request. We're trying to hunt down the ownership, so we're hoping that we can succeed in those efforts. If anyone has, whether it's these here, any kind of relationship or any contact information, let us know. We have the easement agreements ready to go. I will send a rotary to your office, and we will have you sign it on site and ready to go. As soon as we can get 1 or 2 more of these, we can. Pfeiffer & Sons is waiting to put these on the ground.
And
Excellent. Sorry, go ahead.
no, I was
Well, I
just
just-
going to refer to you because you made a comment about how you and your lovely wife drove
yeah.
down. Do you
Yeah.
want to share that with the group?
Yeah, so the other night, like it was after dark, 8 o'clock or so, we made a trip up and down 518 just to look at the lights, and they're awesome. They just look really good, except for the areas that don't have them. And so if there's 6 spots here, if we get them, that's certainly going to help. The couple that stood out to me were the Friends Church, obviously, and then Hometown Bank. I mean, they've got really nice poles there, but they're not
Our
they're not-
polls.
They're not our pole or our lights. So I don't
I actually noticed that too. I drove last night. My child had a thing at the Baptist church, so
Yeah.
and I don't leave at night, but I did last night, and I thought the same thing. And like that area, Hometown Bank has one light on
Yeah.
that whole,
Yeah,
and
it's a nice light. It's a nice
Yeah.
pole, but
yeah,
it's
they look
just
great.
not ours.
So just to clarify there, that the Hometown Bank site is right where the right-of-way on FM 518 starts to decrease. That location was omitted from the first go purposely, just knowing what, if you've noticed the elevation of that site along with the location of their existing infrastructure and sidewalks, it was going to be very difficult to go ahead and put lights in those locations. It was one of the locations that we do anticipate trying to go back and putting the new lights in as well.
Good, perfect.
Yes, sir. The conduit runs the full length, both sides of FM 518.
But it looks really nice. If y'all haven't seen it at night, it looks
It's
really
good.
good.
Thank you, Bubba.
Sure.
Appreciate your comment. All right, any other comments on the illumination project? Hearing none, let's go to the Keep Friendswood Beautiful Electrical Box Artwork Project report.
There we go. So all the boxes have been completed. They've all been painted. They've all been clear coated. The Parks Department and KFB has done their walkthroughs. The opportunity for an air conditioned tour still stands if anybody would like that. The project closeout should be coming soon. I have it here if you would like to see it. It is a very large file, so it might crash to the computer, but I will send renderings or the photos that were taken just this morning in the morning light of all of the boxes. They're all gorgeous. If you haven't had a chance to go look at them. And one of the things that was talked about, just a note with KFB when starting this, was to try to spark or have a little spark across town with these boxes. I'll just let you know that there's been, even just today, we had an inquiry from one of the subdivisions over for 528 looking to try to do this in their neighborhoods. And the Parks Department has already been approached by the same person that does the paintings on the bridges to start some up on Whispering Pines outside of the downtown district, but to continue on with some of these. So they're working with her as well. So very nice and very complimentary that this is kind of sparked it across town so far.
Right.
Great. Well, I was driving across 528, and I noticed a beautiful magnolia in Webster. And a couple of other pretty boxes in Webster. So it's, it's not just us. It's
Yes,
nice
ma'am.
that other people are also doing this for their
There are several
areas.
along Lee City Parkway too that are really nice.
Okay, good, thank you. All right, receive the downtown business update.
Yes, ma'am. So just two for this last month, Gemini Urgent Care has taken over the spot that was, I believe it's Twin Oaks Urgent Care, right down here at FM 518 and Whispering Pines. And then House of Lanterns is across the street. It is a spa, I believe, of spa services, 907 South Friendswood. So these are both existing structures. This is not new construction, but existing structures that have taken over existing spaces.
Excellent, good to know, thank you.
Mhm.
Any other comments or questions about that item? We are now going to receive and discuss the financial report as of, for August.
Yes, ma'am.
It's not as of.
So for August, the beginning fund balance, $2,807,141, with a healthy revenue at both the sales tax and interest is $82,268. We did have some expenditures. Most of this is related to the art boxes and to the remaining funds for the lighting project. Ending fund balance for the month of just over $2.8 million with an unencumbered fund balance of $2,783,916.
So does any of that also include payment for the branding, for the signage? Is any of that in there?
Yes, ma'am. That would be a
Okay.
part of this. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
And just because I know the folks love the charts, Aubrey puts this together and keeps it up.
Thank you, Aubrey.
You can tell this goes back to 2021, month by month on the sales tax collection. Some healthy months looking to come up here, October, November, December. So we all look forward to it.
Very good. Any comments on the budget report?
I have a
Question.
comment, not a report.
Go ahead.
We talked last time about the median signs entries into the, is there a status on that or no?
Yes, sir. So it's not reflected in these reports just because the project has not yet kicked off.
Right.
But City Council did approve that expenditure, and it's been sent on to the fabricator to get them started. So it will, as some of these fall off, that's going to be one of the reports that kicks back on.
Thank you, Stephen.
Karen, I'd like to ask a question of point of order, if you don't mind. Because of the construction in here, we may need to discuss where we're holding meetings and the date of the next meeting and what that looks like. When can we do that? Because it's not an agenda.
So I think it'll be an item of interest that you'll probably reach out and figure out. We need to figure out where that's going to be.
Okay.
Well, it could be in
So
the
we'll-
building,
we'll-
just another location. So we'll definitely reach out to you and let you know where that.
Thank you. Thank you. Any other comments? Our next regularly scheduled meeting is Tuesday, October the 14th at 4 o'clock, and we'll figure out where it's going to be. Very likely it will be upstairs, I think, but we'll see. And we hope to have a report from the police department for the safety, if at all possible. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none. Number 8. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adjourn. Any other comments or questions? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Oh, whoops. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? We are adjourned. Almost did it too fast.